Good day. Welcome to this demo for navigation and schedule system. I haven't quite finished the schedule system, but I just want to go over how I got the navigation system to work. I'm using a plugin called PolyNav, and it is really easy to use. I've used in quite a few projects now, and I want to do something a little bit more complex where the NPCs who have it on it are able to wander around a village, but I also want them to be able to schedule a system where they can go in a house and then go upstairs in the house and then come back downstairs, go back out to the village. So each of those scenes is a different, each of those areas is a different scene. So here I've got my village and I want them to be able to walk around the village. That's easy to do. If I had a house which has an obstacle in the way, then having them walk around the house is easy to do. I've got the upstairs floor where they can come upstairs, walk around, and go to that chest, and that's easy to do. But in order to have them start by this chest, walk through this scene, leave the scene, go to this scene, come down the stairs, go out the door, then come to this scene and come out this door and wander around the village, there was a problem. So when I emailed the programmer of PolyNav, he said, no, you can't have it calculate navigations in scenes that are not open. I don't want to have the entire scene open because having multiple scenes open, it's just going to really bog down things. So I came up with this idea, and I've got a main village, which is basically my cameras, my player, and an NPC, um, a schedule manager, and then I've got these village areas. What this is that in this scene, I've got all of the maps and all of the spawn points or waypoints are all in this area here. So I keep everything here. That way, I'm not loading the graphics of a scene, but I can still calculate the pathfinder with each of these maps. So for instance, the village area has its nav map. Let me just hide these two. So this is the village area, and this is the nav map. This is an obstacle. So I can have, here's the NPC. I can have him find his way to this point based on a schedule. So the schedule I currently have is schedule manager. I've got 3 points to walk. So he's going to start at a point called Bob's front door, which is all the way up here. So he gets spawned at that area, and it tells him he's at the front door and he's using the village nav map, which is this map here in the village area. That village map has all of these obstacles are set to map obstacles 1, and the nav map says to use only map obstacles 1. That way I can keep different obstacles for different maps. This is something that I don't know if I want it changed, but there's only so many layer masks that you can have. So currently I just got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, but you might, like, this village has a whole bunch of houses. If every house had their own interiors, you're looking at quite a few different map areas. So I'm not sure how that would be done. Maybe this could be a list and I could put the obstacles in a list. I don't know, but anyhow. So the schedule says that that's where he starts, and it says the start scene is village. This is just a string, and we store that string when the scene loads up because our scene starts with, where is it? Main manager. So our main manager starts up in village. Our first scene is village. So we're going to keep track of what scene is open. That's important. The reason why that's important is because when an NPC changes from one scene to another scene, so here's the current schedule. So let's look back at schedule. So I'm going to say, all right, this here is the current schedule. This is Dean's schedule. This is just a temporary. I'm not going to have Dean's schedule. I'll have a list of schedules. But for now, I'm just having this one schedule. And that transfers over to the NPC. That's given to the NPC. So it looks for the first point that says move to Dean's front door. Where are you? There we go. That guy there is Dean's front door. And when it gets there, this point is a transition point. And it says to move to a new scene, the village Dean 1. That's the downstairs of Dean's house. Use the map from village Dean 1. So I've got that map here. That's village area. And this is village Dean 1. Pop that up. And that's his map there. And that map takes the obstacle of the table in the middle. So the NPC is going to gain a new map to walk on, and it's going to move the NPC from the front door to the spawn point, because it says spawn point village Dean front door interior. So it's going to move him to there. And then from there, the next point he's going to do is he's going to go to the top of the stairs, and he's going to move to village Dean 2, so on and so forth. The last one is not a transition point. That's by Dean's chest. And therefore, without a transition point, I don't need to fill this stuff in. I could build a custom inspector to make all this look better, but I don't have time right now. I'm just toying with this idea. So here I've got all of the maps loaded. And this really doesn't have that much of an impact right now. And there's Dean. So let's give this a little run and see what happens. I've got my player is down by Dean's house. So the first thing that's going to happen is it's going to load the village scene, because the village scene is told to be the first scene to load. And the fade out, I've got it on pause right now, so I just need to fade. Okay, so fade out, or fade in, sorry. And we can see the path being drawn here that Dean is using. There's Dean walking his way to his front door. Let's pause that. Let's look at Village. So Village also has this area manager. And it has the village is listed here. And all this does is when a scene loads, it's going to find every NPC, check the name of this scene against, here's the NPC, and the NPC says that he is in scene village. So it's going to check every NPC, and if the scene matches the scene that's loaded, it's going to turn on the sprite renderer. And that's an important thing, because when Dean gets down here, all right, I'm going to actually go in the house. So if I go in the house here, there's my player. And we can see Dean walking there. If I go in here, we can now see that Dean no longer has his sprite renderer on. Because Dean, I'm in the house. I should not be able to see Dean in the village. However, Dean's going to do a quick check. There's Dean. Dean's going to do a check that when he does his transition to a new scene, and in-scene changes from village to Dean 1, it did the check, and now we can see Dean, because it did a check to see, is the current open scene, that's the one held here, open scene, village Dean 1. If that matches the NPC's in scene, turn on the sprite renderer. So he's going to transition to a new scene now, which means that when he goes, and we can see him, so he disappeared, and we can see him there on this map, and he's doing his move. And there, he's made his final part. So that's the way I kind of figured out. I don't know if other people do the same thing, but that's the way I figured out how to get an NPC to walk through multiple maps and navigate through all of the maps.